Hello everybody, today's Amud is Daf Tes Zayin Amud Beis. We're holding the second part of Torah Yud Beis. Until now we learned that this that we see, that most people who learn, who are called Tamil Chachamim and Lamdanim, are Misnagdim and Cholkim and Tzadikim. This is Mechuvan Meis Hashem's Baruch. This is all part of Hashem's plan. We learned that a person is only considered Tamil Chacham because he learns Torah Sheva Peh. A person in Torah Sheva Peh, basically he's taking the Diburi Torah from the Tzaddik who's Mechadash Torah, and he's putting that Torah in his mouth. He's taking the Torah, which is a Shechina, the Machos Peh, the Torah Sheva Peh, and he's talking with it. And that Torah is Machzer him B'tshuva through the Chidus Neshikin, which is the Ruach of the mouth of the Tzaddik, who was Mechadash Torah, and the Ruach of the mouth of the person who's saying over the Torah, and together it's Tesesidavis Bekever, and it brings Ruach HaKodesh. But the reason why not everyone who learns Torah feels that Teseres Tshuva is because Torah has in it two bechinas. It has a bechina of Tzadikim Yelchubam or Pashim Mikashlubam. Tzadikim Yelchubam is the koich of the Torah to be machzer people with tshuva and to be merit him. And the part of Pashim Mikashlubam is a Shalai L'Shma. That person, when he starts learning Torah, he does it for his own benefit, and for kavod, or because he wants to feel he's a yadin or a lamdin, or to get kavod as a rav, or to say Torahs. Now, and the reason why the Torah has that is because in order that to bring in all Shef in this world, it's only through the Torah. So all the Ruchnistik Shef in the world comes from the part of the Torah, which is Tzadikim Yelchubam, and all the Gashmis of this world comes from the part of the Torah, which is Pashim Yikashlubam. So that part of the Torah of Shalai Shema is necessary in order to bring into this world all the Shefa. So every person, when he learns Torah, the first thing he's always presented with is the Shalai Shema, because that's the part of Torah which is bringing down all the Shefa Gashmis in this world. And a person who's scabbat to realize that past that, and if you look past that Shalai Shema, there is Lashma, then that Lashma which is past that is the Or HaTorah, which is a Machzor personal mutav. Now, this that we've seen, there are Shayim, there are people who they stay by the Chitzanis, they stay by Shalai Shema because they see that there is in the Torah an aspect of Shalai Shema which comes down together with it, and they stay by it. So now that is Mamshech, that this is Mechuvan Me'es Hashem, that Hashem is Garim, that people, they start learning Shalai Shema, and from learning Shalai Shema, then it's going that they're cholik on the tzaddikim. It gives them the diburim of Shalai Shema, gives them diburim to speak against tzaddikim, the tzaddikim who yes learn the Shema, who are trying to be zeichet to the tzaddikim Yechubam and the Arav Shabbat Machzor Lamut of the Torah. Now the reason why is because when the Lamdin who learns Shalai Shema takes in the diburim of Torah, which he learns Shalai Shema, and he uses it to make it tzarufim. He's re-mitzaref, he reorders in the ruchnistik away. He takes that Torah and he makes it into diburim to speak against the tzaddikim. So when the tzaddik hears people speaking against him, he hears lamdanim speaking against him, and he's misamech b'nei surim shem yichapas v'nei meshivin, and he realizes these diburim which the Lamda Shalai Shema is saying against him actually come from a haliga place. They come from the Torah of a tzaddik, and it's only the Pashim Kashlam chelik of the Torah which is causing them to say it. But deep inside, the tzaddikim Yelchubam, he's mal of them. So the Rebbe says he's mal of three madrigas. So this is a shtickle which is more Kabbalic. So we're going to just go over it quickly. That there's Indian of a Shoshana, which is in the beginning it's called a Chavatzelas, and then it's called a Shoshana. When it's small, it's called a Chavatzelas. It's green, and when it grows into Shoshana, the rose, when it goes from Chavatzelas to Shoshana, then it becomes colored with 6 petals. So in the beginning, it's the first level when it's a chavatzelis. That's the first level when a tzaddik is makabel the yisurin of hearing himself being spoken about. That's called in chibuk. Then that's Chafetz Hashem, that's in the Yarek of Esther Yakrakis Isa, and that's in the V'yiminoi Techabkeni, the chibuk of Yemin. Why Yemin? Because Simcha, the Simcha which he's makabel ba'ava, that they're speaking against him, is belev. Like we learned the Sata Simcha V'libi, and Lev is connected the sphere of Bina. When that's the Yain Sameach, it's connected Yain Sameach, and the pasuk says Yain Samamach Yisamach Levov, that Lev and Simcha and Yain are all connected. So when the Lamdan speaks against the tzaddik, and the tzaddik hears all its Ufi Isius of Torah Shabbat, which is being spoken against him, and he chaps, and that all comes from a heliga place, and he's makabel b'simcha v'ava, and the nelavim v'inam olvim, smechim yisur v'ayisum ava. This ava, which is makabel, that's the yemina tib chabkeni, and the simcha, which is samech in it, is the anichaves hasharin. That's Nasata Simcha V'libi, and that's also Tzur Levavi. Tzur is the Indian of the rock with which Moshe Rabbeinu hit in order to draw forth the water. So Chazal say in Tikkunim that if Moshe wouldn't have hit the rock, they wouldn't have to work so hard in Torah. So you see, the rock is the Indian of Torah. So Nasa explains that all the Yegiyah that we have in Torah in order to understand Torah is all that same Yegiyah that comes from the Shema Shalai Shema. The Yegiyah that we have to learn through Sugya in order to understand it clearly is also the Yegiyah that whenever we learn Torah, we're presented with it Shalai Shema, and we have to work through the Shalai Shema to come to the Shema. But when we're makabel, the chelik of Shalai Shema, or the chelik of not understanding it, and we look past that, and whenever we hear other people speak against tzaddikim, we understand that's coming from a place really that of a Shalai Shema, which wasn't Mavur, but there really is Torah in there. That's Tzur Levavi, and that's the Samata Simcha Belibi. Now, together with that, it makes the Chavetz is green in the beginning. That's any of the Ar Yorek. Bina is brought down as Ar Yorek, and that's any of the Yorek as Chanichov. The Avram, Avram was always the Yamin. That's chibuk, Yemina Techabkeni, and he has his chanichim. He has the people that he was machanech, who go with his name, who have his kinui, that take their name from him. Chanicha is also that they take his name in Avram, and then the Yarkas Chanicha, he prepared his talmidim to go with him. That the inyan of inyan of Avram, inyan Chesed, that the Kav Yarik that Avram Avinu, the Inyan of Chesed, would be Makabel Ba'ava. This was that the people are talking against the tzaddik, so that's a Kav Yarek. So that's the next level of Neshikin, and that brings up to the higher level, to Chachma. That when the net's Ma'ir Netzachoid, till then we're Masakin Bina, now we're Masakin Netzachoid, and it comes to a higher level that he understands. Not only his makabel ba'ava, but he takes those tzerufin, and the tzaddik is able to understand which Torah made these terufi isis in order to make this thing that the Lamdan is talking against him. And then it comes on to higher level of Shoshana. Shoshana is Amakim, which is the highest level of Dabkas Rucha, which is Mesar de Zivug. So the Chibuk goes up to Nisha, goes up to Zivug. And that's the Sefsef Shanim, Sefsef Davis Bekever, which is the Ruach of the Tana with the Ruach of the Loimid. And together, the Dain Mas Nerech, the Shnei Doidim, the Shnei Tzadikim, will give a Reach. And this all connects to the Ma'amar Rabbi Chana, that Rabbi Chana says, I saw a Hermes Bar Lilsa, which is a name of a shindal, of a shed, that he was running on a wall, of the walls of Mechaiza, and someone was riding a horse under him, and the horse rider wasn't able to go as fast as him. And one time, I saw him going on. There were two animals. They were going on two bridges of a town called Doinag, and he was jumping from the two animals which were going on the bridges. He was jumping from one animal to other animal while he was holding two cups, and he was pouring wine from one cup to the other, one cup to the other, without spilling a drop. And that day was a stormy day. So tomorrow, Mr. Hashem, we're going to go over and explain how this whole Torah fits into this matter of Chana. Just one time because this was a much harder Amud than usual. Just to explain again that we're saying that all these mechanisms which we spoke about till now, that are all in the idea of being Mala the Malchus. So Malchus starts out as a chavtzelis, as a green rose, and then it matures into a red rose. It's being Mala the diburim that the tzaddik hears, that people are talking against him, and when he's mekabel ba'ava, because he knows it's all Ratzon Hashem, and he realizes that the simcha of it, the simcha that is mekabel, that's the first level of chibuk, and then when he starts thinking about it and realizing that all of those diburim which the Rosh and the Lamdan Shalashma is saying against him all come from diburim of Torah, which was learned Shalashma, which means that they're really Torah, and he understands where it comes from. That's Chachma, and that's the next level of Nishikin, which is understanding the Torah to the Tzaddik and learning the Torah of the Tana together, and until it brings it to the highest level of Zivug. And so Memela, this is why Ratzon Hashem is that it's all planned that to allow the people people learn Shalashma in order that their Torah should have an aliyah. So he lets them speak against the tzaddik in order that the tzaddik could be mada their diburim. Then that the plan, the reason why Hashem lets people speak against the tzaddik is in order that the tzaddik could take these diburim, which are speaking against him, against the tzaddik, which are really diburei Torah, and to mala them back to their place in kedusha.